Once upon a time in a village, there was a poor yet kind lady named Shahida, who lived all alone in a small, simple house, with only her memories for company. She had no one except her son, Arham. The walls of the house were adorned with colorful pictures of Hindu gods and goddesses, reflecting her deep faith. Though the house was small and worn down, it was filled with love and warmth, especially during breakfast time. Every morning, the aroma of spices would fill the air as she prepared simple yet delicious meals for her son, Arham. Her days were filled with routine, cleaning utensils, washing clothes, and tending to the small garden outside her house. But her biggest joy was cooking for her son, whom she lovingly called Beta, even though she couldn't see his smiling face. She could feel the happiness radiating from him as he ate her food. She knew his favorite dish was halwa, so she would make sure to cook it often. While making halwa, she would hum traditional songs, creating a joyful atmosphere in their small kitchen. Shahida wasn't just a loving mother, she was also a symbol of strength and resilience. Life hadn't been easy for her. She had lost her husband years ago, and now she worked as a cleaner at a local school to support herself and Arham. Every morning before sunrise, she would set out for work, walking slowly but steadily. People passing by often ignored her or made fun of her old, patched-up clothes and dark skin. But she paid them no heed. Her only focus was getting to the school as quickly as possible so that she could clean the classrooms and prepare them for the next day. Her colleagues and students loved her. They knew that despite the hardships she faced, she always had a smile on her face. After work, she would stop by the market to buy fresh vegetables for the evening meal. She had a special way of selecting the best ones without even looking at them. Her fingers, calloused yet gentle, would feel each vegetable, ensuring she chose only the finest for her son. As dusk settled and Shahida returned home, the sight that greeted her was heartbreaking. Their small house was engulfed in darkness. Arham, her beloved son, would sit patiently waiting for her. As soon as he heard the familiar sound of her key in the door, a big smile would appear on his face. For him, his mother was a superhero who came home every day with magical powers, transforming their simple house into a palace of love and happiness. One day, while preparing dinner, Shahida felt a strange sensation in her eyes. It felt as if someone had put sand in them. At first she ignored it, assuming it would go away. But as the day passed, her vision began to blur. When she tried to clean the dishes, she accidentally dropped a glass. The shards hit her finger, and for the first time, she truly realized she couldn't see. Panic surged through her. Oh, what would happen to her? How would she care for her son? Would she become a burden to him? These thoughts tormented her. But amidst her fear, Shahida found solace in her faith. She prayed for strength and guidance. In the depths of her despair, she remembered a story about a holy man who had miraculous powers. She decided to visit him, hoping he could help her. With newfound determination, she walked towards the man's hut, her steps firm and resolute. When Arham returned home that evening, he found his mother sitting quietly. Her usual cheerful self had vanished, replaced by a deep sadness. He asked her what had happened, but she didn't answer. Instead, she held his hand, her touch conveying the depth of her emotions. She told him about her fading eyesight, her fears, and the hope that only the holy man could restore her vision. Arham, being a dutiful son, understood the gravity of the situation. He knew his mother had worked tirelessly to give him a better life. He hugged her, promising to take care of her. The journey to the holy man's hut was long and arduous, but their bond strengthened with each step. Finally, they reached the hut, and inside sat the holy man, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. After listening to Shahida's tale, the holy man spoke in a calm, soothing voice. He told her that her eyesight couldn't be restored, but he could offer her a chance to regain her vision through a remarkable procedure. This procedure, however, carried a risk. There was a possibility that only one of them would regain their sight, and they had to decide who that would be. Shahida and Arham looked at each other. In that moment, Shahida knew what she had to do. Without hesitation, she placed her hand on the holy man's, consenting to the procedure. The surgery was successful, but as the holy man had foretold, only one of them regained their sight. Guess who chose to give up their eyesight for the sake of her son? Yes, it was our brave mother, Shahida. She woke up from the surgery, her eyes no longer able to see the world, yet a wide smile on her face. As she learned that her son's eyes could now see the beautiful world, she felt a sense of fulfillment. Meanwhile, Arham, after regaining his sight, looked at his mother with gratitude and love. He saw the selfless sacrifice she had made for him, giving up her eyesight so he wouldn't have to live in darkness. As years went by, Arham grew up into a fine young man, excelled in his studies, eventually graduating from a prestigious university. His future seemed bright with promise. However, as he grew older, he began to feel ashamed of his mother. He avoided taking her out in public, fearing people might stare at or make fun of her. One day, Arham came home with his friends. They were loud and boisterous, teasing him about his mother's blindness and patched clothes. Arham, unable to bear their taunts, shouted at them to leave. As soon as they departed, he heard his mother calling out to him in a soft, shaky voice. Arham knew he had hurt his mother, but he couldn't control his anger. He wanted to be seen as cool and trendy by his friends. He started avoiding his mother, not wanting her to embarrass him. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Soon, Arham would come home only to sleep. He hardly had any time for his mother. On one such day, he came across a picture of his mother taken during his school days. In the photo, he saw his mother standing proudly next to him on the annual day, her eyes shining with love and pride. Beneath the image was a caption, "A mother's love is the purest form of light." Suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his chest. He missed his mother's warm hugs and the delicious food she made for him. He realized that his mother's love was the guiding light in his life. Shahida missed her son dearly, but she never complained. She continued to pray for his happiness and success. She knew that one day he would understand the depth of her sacrifices. Years passed, Arham became a successful businessman, but amidst his achievements, he felt a void. He was surrounded by people, yet felt lonely. He had everything except for his mother's love, which he had taken for granted. One day, Shahida fell ill. Despite her blindness, she sensed that her time was near. She called her son, but he was busy in a meeting and couldn't come. When she passed away, Arham wasn't by her side. The news of his mother's death reached him as he was giving a presentation. He rushed home, but it was too late. At the funeral, a neighbor handed a letter to Arham. It was a letter from his mother. With trembling hands, he opened it. The letter read, "My dear Beta, if you're reading this letter, it means I am no more in this world. My only wish is for you to forgive me. I gave you my eyes so that you could see the beauty of this world. I am the luckiest mother to have a son like you. Forgive me, Beta. With love, your mother." As Arham read these words, his heart shattered, realized the depth of his mother's love. In a fit of grief, he collapsed. When he regained consciousness, he was at his mother's grave. The sky was gray and cloudy, mirroring the turmoil in his heart. He looked around, realizing that he was alone. No one had accompanied him to the cemetery. In the silence of that moment, Arham made a silent vow to his mother. He promised to live the rest of his life in service to her memory. He would make sure that no one ever felt the pain of losing their mother the way he had. With newfound purpose, Arham began visiting orphanages and old age homes, providing food and gifts to the residents. He also started sponsoring the education of underprivileged children, ensuring they had the opportunity to pursue their dreams. As the years passed, a remarkable transformation took place in Arham. He found joy in helping others, and his heart was filled with gratitude for his mother's sacrifices. He often visited her grave, bringing her favorite flowers and sharing his joys and sorrows with her. One day, as Arham stood by his mother's grave, the clouds parted, revealing a bright, clear sky. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the cemetery. Arham closed his eyes, feeling a sense of peace and tranquility. In that moment, he knew his mother was watching over him, her love guiding him through the darkness and into the light. The light represented hope, reminding him that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. Arham had finally found the true vision. It wasn't just about seeing with his eyes, but seeing the world with a compassionate heart. His mother's love had given him this vision, and he was determined to carry it with him for the rest of his life. The end.